Christmas is one of the most widely celebrated religious holidays in the world, and if there was ever a piece that became deeply tied to this celebration, it would be the Nutcracker. Although the ballet by Tchaikovsky is the most widely spread version of this piece of work, we must remember it all started with a short story written by E.T.A. Hoffmann in 1816. With fun music, great characters, and a nice happy ending, who wouldn't love this whimsical ballet adventure? Well, most notably, Tchaikovsky. He wasn't a great fan of the work, and he didn't feel like the short story was the best scenario for a ballet. But that didn't stop the man from composing some incredibly iconic pieces, and the love that so many different artists have poured into transforming the score into a spectacle makes the work greater than the sum of its parts. As for the short story, it follows a girl named Marie in the original, or Clara in later ballet versions, who receives a Nutcracker doll as a Christmas gift from her godfather Drosselmeyer. Even though the doll is a little ugly and rough around the edges, Marie becomes immediately enamored by it, prompting Drosselmeyer to tell the story behind this Nutcracker. Turns out he is really a beautiful prince put under a nasty spell, and returning to his original form involves battling a vicious rat army and conquering the heart of a maiden. This is the story that Nutcracker adaptations usually follow, though some take more liberty with it than others. And during this month, I am going to look at 25 of those. I have collected theatrical movies, TV specials, ballet reinterpretations, stop-motion pieces, CGI works, TV show episodes, and any other footage source I have come across. There are some which were made by big studios and gained a lot of notoriety, and some which have fallen into obscurity as the years went by. Some that are loved by all, and some that are less fortunate. It's a Nutcracker Christmas, baby, and we are celebrating it. Many of these works were actually incredibly easy to find, as they can be watched for free on either YouTube or the Internet Archive. As a Brazilian with limited access to international DVDs, this was a godsend, and I believe it is in the best interest of the general public that we keep these works easy to watch. The reviews you will find in this project are an invitation for you to check out these adaptations too, as there are some hidden gems you might have never heard of, and some pieces that might be worth revisiting if you already know them. Starting on December 1st, I will post one short video per day, going over my thoughts on whatever adaptation has been chosen for the occasion. Throughout this project, you might see me refer to the Tchaikovsky ballet as both an original piece and as an adaptation. That is because, while the ballet technically is a reinterpretation of the short story, many of the works that came after it take great influence from the ballet itself, as if it were the definitive version of the tale, and they even use the music pieces from the spectacle as the soundtrack. Therefore, the ballet is both an adaptation and a formative work for the canon, and each subsequent adaptation chooses which bits and pieces it prefers to work with from both the stage version and the short story. In fact, using the ballet as inspiration is very convenient, as its songs are in the public domain, and thus you don't have to spend a lot of time coming up with an original soundtrack for your work. Which, honestly, I think is a major reason for why this story in particular has been adapted so many times. While some works do get more creative and put their own little spin on these beloved songs, others take a much simpler approach and use the tracks as they are. Either way, you end up recognizing the story through sound alone. When the bouncy ballet music starts playing, you have a pretty good idea of which characters will soon grace the screen. But I mean, aside from the easy soundtrack, another big reason as to why the Nutcracker has been adapted so many times is that people love this story. This sentiment permeates so many of these adaptations, from the most straightforward to the most inventive, and I truly enjoy seeing the many different spins people have added to this narrative. So, I humbly invite you to come along for this journey as I explore as many adaptations of the Nutcracker as I can. This is the Nutcracker Project, a very Nutcracker Christmas. I'll see you tomorrow, and again, and again, and again.